Welcome back to the Moto Outside, everybody. Today we're recapping all things Birmingham Supercross. But first, Hayden Deegan was arrested in Santa Rosa Beach, street racing, doing donuts like every rich little boy should be doing in his Audi R8. But before we get into all of that, Mr. Chris Baird, how are you, sir?
Dude, I'm great. I'm ready to get into this. It's been a wild 48 hours of motocross news. So
It's been great. And
yeah,
in
it's been
fun spirit of the fact that not a single person on this planet is perfect, Chris has Mr. Deegan's mugshot going on behind him. I, however, have Tiger Woods, one of the most infamous mugshots ever behind me. And it is only a
uh
matter of time. And Chris actually brought this up off camera before you see Hayden's face on a $150 sweatshirt. That is the mugshot. So give it time, friends. It'll be there.
give it time. Yeah. Before we go into this info, like Matt said, I want to just let you all know that I personally do not have a problem with what happened. He's
Nope.
19, he has
Nope.
millions of dollars. If he killed someone, had a DUI, it'd be a different story. He was doing donuts with his friends, having fun. He's a kid, gonna make mistakes. It's life. Let him
Let me
live.
tell you something. Let me tell you something.
His
You're 100%, you are 100% right. If you were an
yeah.
affluent young kid that had a supercar, you would do the same thing. So don't, if there's
I
any
hope.
man or boy watching this show, do not for a second say you wouldn't do that because we all would and we all have and all will in the future. Come
Yeah.
on now.
Exactly. He's like, I feel like we were waiting for this stuff to happen. Like, this is just like, when's it gonna happen? He's young. He wants to have a good time. Dude, we've all done dumb stuff. I mean, you could talk to us about doing some donuts in the parking lot. We won't get into that story, but we've all been through some things. It is what it is. Yeah, Matt knows.
You are
No, it is
right.
what it is. At the end of the day, man, like, he's a young kid. Nothing crazy happened. We can get into the whole joint of exactly what happened, but yeah, he was arrested and taken in and booked. Apparently, the one thing that was weird is they said that he had fake IDs. They said he was 21. I guess it's not that weird when you're that age, but
Right.
he was lucky that he cooperated because he did not get any jail time or anything. He just paid his bond and left because he was cooperative. But yeah, having the fake IDs is probably the worst part of all that. At the end of the day, again, who hasn't done that at that
Right.
age?
Yep.
Getting clubs. I
Dude,
mean, it is what it is.
everyone's had fake IDs. Every single woman has a fake ID under the age of 21, most likely. And listen, boys are going to be boys. Is, breaking the law and all of that. Do we condone it? No. But again, like
No.
Chris and I had mentioned off camera, thank God no one got killed. It wasn't reckless driving under the influence, DWI, whatever you want to call it. You know, no one got hurt. And I think that's the big thing. And yes, is he a big name in the industry? And does his last name carry a lot of weight? It sure does. But also, too, this just brings more attention to the Deegan name, and he's not going to lose his ride over it, like we've seen some speculation about. And every major athlete, he's not the only motocross guy who's been arrested before, so it's nothing new. It's just it happened to
Well,
be Mr. Danger Boy Deegan.
yeah, bad press is better than no press. I'm sure it's
Mhm.
fine. Guys, he's not going to lose his ride. There's a lot of, I'm sorry, I'm going to call them stupid comments. A lot of stupid comments saying, is he going to
Yep.
lose his ride? No, they don't care. It's fine. He's going to be okay. He's
Right.
good. He didn't do anything that bad. But I want to ask you, like, you about this. Like, I'm definitely, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but they, it's public record now, but his address is leaked on the internet. So, like, what
Yep.
repercussions do you think that's going to carry with him, his family? I think his sister has her own place now, but I mean, him and his brother and parents live in one house. So, like,
Right.
what do you think that does to the Deegans?
Yeah, unfortunately, and we're not drawing attention to it. Again, it's public knowledge, so we are not doxing him. His address has already been out there long before this video has been posted. To answer your question, though, dude, it's not right, but it is the legal process. When you get arrested, it's all public information and public record. That's just how it goes. However, I think he will have to sell the home and move into something else completely different. He's not your average kid. So
No.
he's got supercars and motorcycles and a bunch of other play toys. It's not like he can just move downtown to another apartment or another apartment
No.
building. So this, unfortunately, it's going to suck. He's going to have to list, most likely will have to list his home for sale because it will be vandalized or try to be broken into. I mean, look what's going on with the NFL players. Joe Burrow, someone broke into his house while his housekeeper was there and stole however many millions of dollars worth of jewelry and stuff. People nowadays, thankfully he's in Florida, but people nowadays feel emboldened to mess with celebrities and their lifestyle and try to get into their houses and break in. At least you have the rights to defend your property in Texas without going to jail for it. But the
Yeah.
reality is, man, this incident is going to cause a lot of headaches, not from the legal side, but logistically, he's got to move, and it sucks. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. And we were talking about it earlier too, like his father Brian posted on Instagram, like him and his mom are at some beach resort right now, just kind of enjoying life. And Brian didn't say anything indirectly related, but you could tell he was kind of just like, these things are gonna happen. It is what it is. You can either sit there and be upset about it, or you can just kind of move on. It is what it is. Like, again, he's a kid. At the end of the day, like I've been waiting for this to happen. So I mean, yeah,
Right.
cool, good for you. He's gonna make some money on some merch now, and the YouTube video next is probably gonna million views plus. So
No doubt. And
that's not
we'll
really much else to say about it. Good for you. Glad you didn't kill anyone. Good luck in
yep.
Seattle this weekend. I
So
mean, that's
here's
it.
so we'll level the playing field and bring up some other notable mentions who have also been arrested or had run-ins with the law. Obviously, Jason Lawrence goes without saying. We're not going to go into that. But James Stewart Jr. was also arrested. Travis Pastrana was arrested for doing something very similar to what Deegan did. Ryan
Yep.
Villapoto and Brock Tickle all had run-ins with the law for things far worse than what Hayden Deegan did. So it is what it is, guys. That's the story on that. But Chris, anything to add before we talk all things Alabama?
No, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, if any of you guys that are watching this remember the Bubba's World show, like that happened while they were filming Bubba's World. Like he was impersonating a police officer with the police lights on his car. You can probably go on YouTube and watch that. It was actually crazy. Probably '09, 2010. James was pretty wild back in the day. That was great. But yeah,
Dude,
no man, there's nothing else to really say. Like
what a TV show. James Bubba's World was a fantastic show. It was like Viva La Bam, but for motocross world. It was awesome.
yeah, I miss that. I really do. It was such a good time.
Those days were great.
Early 2000s, man. It was a good time
Yep.
to be alive.
You want to know who else had a great day? Nate
Who's
Thrasher.
that?
Nate Thrasher had a great day in Alabama,
He did.
Birmingham. He did
Birmingham.
Birmingham. So it goes Nate Thrasher, RJ Hampshire, Tom Vial finishes third, Seth Hamaker, and then Daxton Bennick rounds out the top five. Um, Chance Hymas was way down there. Max Volan was down there. So weird night in the 250s. Chris and I both agreed it was kind of a boring night of racing. But dude, what'd you think?
I personally am just kind of impressed and just, I think it's crazy how much better Seth Hamaker has got. Not that he's gotten better, but he's starts are great.
Yep.
Obviously he probably would have won 1-1-1 if it wasn't for that first race.
Yeah.
He's training, with Michael Byrne. He's training where the Lawrence is trained now. I think that kind of speaks for itself. He's definitely putting the work in. So I think it's really cool to see it's like Seth doing what he's doing. He ripped through the pack and was just so dominant, qualifying and all that. And I think if he had some better first rounds, I think I don't have the points in front of me, but I think he's only down like 12 or 15 points. I think it's 13 points. So I'm looking at the title. We talked about this on the show we posted Friday. Tom Vial could, win the title without getting a win because he was not riding like he was capable of winning one of those races this weekend. He was very consistent, third overall, but I think RJ and Seth actually do have a better chance of winning this than I had originally thought going into the weekend. I don't know what you think, but I mean, again, their riding's really good. Nate Thrasher, good to see him win. He's always done this kind of weird, like win a race, get hurt, win a race,
Yep.
finish 10th. Really cool. He probably 3-3-2 or his moto scores. Again, I think Seth's crash in the first one is what really set it. The whole results kind of in like a mix up. But no, man, it was definitely an interesting race. And I don't know, like, what do you think about the title and the points at this point? Like, where do you see
So
this going with them being 10, 12 points down?
right. And I'm looking at it now. Seth Hamaker's 13 points behind. RJ Hampshire is 10 points behind. After watching Seth ride, dude, I think the 250s is still wide open.
Yeah. Look at the East
And
Coast swing they have coming up. I mean, like, there's still a lot of racing left.
100%. And that's why, like you said, he probably would have, Seth probably would have went 1-1-1 if it wasn't for that first race. And just looking at the points, even by all means, I think it's going to be a dogfight between VL, Hampshire, and Hamaker all the way down to
Yeah.
the end of the season, man. No doubt.
So Max is Dunzo. So
Yep.
we're gonna definitely rule him out. But no, man, like it's 100%.
Yeah. So
It's
then
just weird
let's
to
just
see it. It's just the injuries. Like he has the same injury as Tomac, same team. Is that not like weird how these injuries are going this year? Like just talking
well,
about that quick.
dude, we talked about it in like a show earlier in the year about how things kind of go in threes with the types of injuries we saw people having, man. It is
Yeah,
interesting and it's weird when there's a trend with injuries, right? Because obviously you would like to think that injuries happen at random, but when you start to see some of the more prominent guys start to get these injuries that kind of match up and sync up, it's very strange, dude. I don't know.
I know. First it was like Achilles, now it's fibs. I don't really know. Very interesting. But yeah, I guess like before we get off 250s, I mean we can still talk a little more about RJ, who was really good.
Yep.
Carson Mumford, 5'4", 21. Carson was up there in the first two races, riding on a privateer team essentially.
Which is so
Thought that was pretty
crazy.
cool. No, yeah, it's just good. And then you see guys like Daston Bennick and Chance Hymas, fifth and seventh. Those guys should probably be a little closer. Just the privateers are mixing it up. It's really cool. This class is so stacked. So
It
many good
is.
guys, and it's everything we thought it was going to be. Now, Austin Faulkner is definitely taking some time to get back into the swing of things.
He
I'm
needs to.
disappointed to see. I know, I get it. He had brain surgery and things, so it's going
Yep.
to take some time. Do you think he gets a podium before the season ends? Because
Dude.
I
Oh
haven't seen
man.
any flashes of anything that say he would, but
The underdog side of me wants to say yes so badly.
yeah,
But the realistic side, man, you and I are on the same page. I believe it's probably not. No, which sucks because he's
it's a
been through
bummer.
so much. So you want to root for that person and you want them to rise above and to just kind of get that monkey off their back in terms of the
Yeah,
injuries and the media and all that stuff and just kind of let everyone level out. But yeah, man, just the realistic side of me says, nah.
yeah, no, I agree, man. And like, just to kind of like close up with 250s here, like 7, 8 races left. I think there's 4 or 5 rounds left of two at the East.
Yep.
Can Seth Hamaker win them all and take over the points lead
Can
and
you
then win the title?
imagine?
For
Can you
Mitch
imagine?
Payton, that would be so special.
And talk about lifting the curse, just blowing that off. That's out of the equation immediately.
Yeah, no, we just needed someone who could keep it all together and have some
Hey,
good luck for once. You know, like it's been a rough watching that team just every year, injury, 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 injury for the past 5, 6 years. So
well, talk about someone who finally kept it together. Mr. Chase Sexton goes 1-1-2.
thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank
Got the
God.
praying hands coming out here, but dude, I mean, that only puts him 11, 10, 9, 8 points back behind Cooper Webb in the championship, man.
Yeah, Coop had one bad race, one crash, and fourth overall. He does a big swing in points for that. I'm really glad that Chase was smart. Again, Moto 3 gets passed by Cooper Webb and he composed himself. He was trying to go back after him, but I think he was just like, all right, I'm just gonna ride the pace. I'm gonna finish second here, take the
Yep.
overall win. I think he needed it for his psyche more than anything. Because I think if he made a mistake and didn't win this after he went 1-1, he probably would have I don't even know what he would have done, but I don't think he would have recovered from the mental strain and stress of
For
what's been
sure.
going on. It's been crazy.
Well, and then what also is crazy is Cooper Webb had a very lackluster night, man, going 7-4-1. But the point is he was still able to squeak out a race win, which is crazy. Like he's still proving it, even when he makes his mistakes, arguably the fastest guy on the track, dude. It's insane.
No,
But
I know he's just like a gamer, like we talk about. He puts it together when he needs to. He needed that
yep.
last model win just to be like, hey, look, I'm still here. Just a couple bad races.
Whose ride was more impressive to you though? Malcolm Stewart or AP?
I think Malcolm. I don't know if I think they showed it in the race, but dude, he had a crash in qualifying. Like he was messed up pretty bad. He could barely walk after the first couple races.
Yep.
It was great to see him. He was really, really good. I thought he was going to pass Chase after I think the first one. He was on a real rip. He passed Kenny. He was moving forward. Yeah, Malcolm is he's such a mystery. He gets a win. He gets seventh. He gets a win, or he gets second. Like, what's he going to do next? I don't know.
But
Hopefully,
I
he heals
mean,
up quick.
and he's still fourth in the points, though. Yes, granted, he's 20 points off of third place. Ken's got a nice cushion there. But it's just a point. It's going to be what his arguably one of his best finishes to the season if this trajectory continues. It'll be one of his best seasons of his career.
100%. No, it definitely is, and next year could be even better. And what the teams are going to be like. There's a lot of changes with what's happening. I bet he probably stays there next year. But
Yeah.
no, it was really good to see Aaron Bussner as well. 2, 3, 5, great podium interviews. My problem with AP right now is he's starting to become like Marvin Musquin interviews, dude. He just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and I get it. It's funny. It's a good time, but he's just the same thing over and over. Like AP, man, I love you, but let's cut these
It,
interviews a little short. You just got second in the first race. You got 3 to go or 2 to go. Like,
but hey, that's Captain
can we
America
just
out there. That's the
no,
only
it's
man in
cool,
the
man.
Stetson hat on the podium. You got to let him talk a little bit.
I know with that little country accent, I love it. No, it was cool, man. It was definitely a good race. Kenny was quiet. If you want to talk about Jason Anderson, who we talked about on Friday, he was great this weekend, but cleaned out by Chase, gets bumped by Cooper, goes down twice, and then I think the third main he thought Malcolm was going to jump into him, and he crashed. 5, 8, 12 though. I mean, the results on paper do not at all show what he was riding. Like he was riding really good. So
Right.
just again, like what's going on? It's just the bad luck strikes 3 in a row.
Well, and dude, you took the words out of my mouth because I was going to say, a couple riders that we've been pretty critical of these past few episodes between Justin Cooper and Jason Anderson, man, finishing sixth and seventh overall. Justin
Yeah.
Cooper really had a slide from grace given his last few weeks' performances. He goes 6-7-6 for six overall, like you said, and then Jason Anderson goes 5-8-12. It's like some of the bigger names that we've kind of been seeing, like I said, it's just the trend has been in the downward direction for some of these guys. And it's nice to see guys like AP and Malcolm kind of going on the upward swing, but it's
for
always
sure.
weird to see the guys you expect to do well just don't time and time again. It's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I think if, yeah, you look at Jason Anderson, if he could have put himself in some better spots earlier in the season, and then the past few races not had these weird things happen, what's to say he's not in this points battle? Because, I mean, 2018 Supercross champion, he's got the
Yep.
ability, the speed, he can handle the pressure. Man, I was every time he crashed last night, I was like, dude, what is going on? Like you had it again. A lot of it
Yep.
wasn't his fault, but no, Shane McElrath, eighth overall, really good ride for him. Just consistent. Barsha, 18.57. He probably would have been like fifth or sixth with a better first race. And
Right.
I
Well,
don't know, man, it was pretty solid.
dude, you and I were discussing Justin Hill a few episodes ago, saying that
Yeah,
he would be the only logical person to get a potential Honda ride in replacement of the Lawrence brothers, right? Do you,
yeah.
or at least along that frame of thought, do you think that is still the case? I mean, he goes 17.98, 11th overall. Realistic conversation or not really? Are we just having fun with that?
No, I think it's realistic. I think his past few races have been perfectly fine. Just not a great night for him. I don't know if he's on a huge Triple Crown guy, but I feel like the last Triple Crown he was up front a lot. So yeah, I don't. It doesn't sound like they're going to put anybody on the bike at this point, but I don't.
Sure.
And he probably wouldn't have picked him in the first place, but I think that would have been a good fit. Just give him a shot. I mean, he's clearly got the speed and the balls to literally hit any jump combo
Right.
on the track, especially first. Um, I was definitely curious to see if he can get on the podium before the season ends because he's
Yep.
really good, but as his results just aren't showing it lately.
No, I mean, him being on the podium probably is going to be an anomaly unless something crazy happens like a mud moto or there's just a
Yeah,
set of
it's
circumstances that just
unlikely.
don't make sense. But like in the last episode, we were talking about Ken Roxon and his relation to the points and the potential championship. You put the dagger in my heart saying that there's really no smooth path for him to get to the top of the points or at least be a contender for this. And now, after Chase's performance last night, dude, I think you are spot on with that, man. He's, almost 20 something points back. It's just
Yeah,
not going to be a good
I
one for him, which sucks. Because what a
yeah,
ride, dude.
and
What a ride this year.
what a ride! I don't know. He's been doing so good. Yeah, at this point, I mean, yeah, the AC separation. I mean, like, what are you gonna do now? He's hurt. He's riding injured. Uh, dude, it's over. I think it's over. Again, I think he could definitely get some podiums to finish it up. But I've never had an AC separation, but it sounds painful. Sounds like it would
It
suck.
does. Yep.
And at this point, like, take Count out of the picture. No disrespect to Cooper Webb, but I'm pretty sure that Chase Sexton is just kind of at a war against himself right now. Because if Chase does what
I
he
think
can
so.
do, no reason he can't win this title. But it's going to be tough to beat Cooper Webb for the next, how many rounds? 7, 8 rounds left.
Imagine being I'm looking at the points, right? Imagine being the privateers who've been racing every single weekend and Jet Lawrence still has more points than you.
It's got to hurt a little bit.
It's
It's
got to
got to
hurt,
hurt a
dude.
little bit.
That man is
I
injured and
know.
gone and not going to race, and he still has more points
Um,
than you.
you guys are at war for like 17th spot every time they're on the track, but
Yep.
the guys are racing, 4 or 5 races. Yeah, no, that's brutal, man. But
So,
hey,
dude, I'm like you and
uh,
I, we were talking about Jorge Prado towards the beginning of the year. We expected maybe Prado to do better than we thought. He's 22nd in the points, and it just kind of petered out in terms of media coverage and the hype that was around him nationally, or at least on
yeah.
mainstream media. But how do you feel about Prado as the season kind of just rolls on and everything kind of, just kind of hangs out in the
Um,
balance with him?
Yeah, I mean, I keep it short and sweet. I think he wins probably at least 2 outdoor races. I think he wins like at least 2 overalls because he's going to be really good outdoors. Like he beat Geyser and he's beaten all these guys that he
So
needs to
you're
beat
you're
on
looking toward
MXGP.
the outdoors more.
Yeah, that's where he'll really prove himself. And then hopefully Supercross next year he is a little more comfortable and doesn't get hurt right away and can battle for this because I think he could definitely be a title contender in a few years, but it's going to be a little bit, in my opinion, until that day comes for Supercross.
And look, like when you look at the rest of and I want to wrap this up talking about the privateers. When you
Yeah,
look at the rest of the field between Kevin Moran's, Cole Nichols, Harlan, even Chiz, right? Some of these guys
yeah,
with like just crazy speed, skill, like Kevin Moran's, his name is always in there, and the dude gets minimal support, if any, right, from any sort of teams, sponsors, etc. He got a big social media following, but I
yeah.
can't help but think what it would be like if you took a guy like him and you put him on a more factory built bike, what the results could be, you know? Because I like to look at the privateers and be like, dude, what diamond in the rough is hanging out there where you put him on the right bike in the right conditions, and he's a game changer. I always think of that.
Yeah, I mean, look at Chiz. He had that star ride in 250s a couple years ago, and he won a heat
Right.
race and was really, really competitive. It's the what if. I think it'd
It
be cool
is.
to see someone get that Honda ride and to see where they go. I know Justin Starling's name has been thrown around a lot. Dylan Ferrandis is getting some more support from Honda, but do know it's a real thing. I think it's the confidence of having a good group of people around you, knowing you have probably the best bike. I mean, who knows? Maybe down the road that does happen. A spot opens up with all these injuries we're seeing, but it could definitely change just the mindset. The mindset is so big. One little change like that could change everything.
That's it. That's it, guys. We're gonna end the
So,
episode on that. One little thing, and this applies to your life too. Let's be a little motivational here. In this episode where we're talking about people who get arrested, right? Let's say you got a troubled past or you've got some demons, and whatever the case is, man, one little thing can change the entire trajectory of your life. And that's the beautiful thing about luck is that it can change in a second, right? So
yeah,
whether you're a privateer guy or if you were like Chris and I and you're delivering furniture, man, one little thing that can change goes nuts. I do just for like not to get off on a tangent like we always do. You and I delivered furniture together.
yeah.
You never once mentioned that you wanted to be or turn into one of the biggest ghost hunters on YouTube with the amount of subscribers and social media following you have. No, for real.
Yeah.
And
No,
like
you're right.
over the course of a few years, your following has exploded and
Hmm.
you do it's like it's crazy to see what you've done in the ghost space on YouTube. And like the same
Appreciate
thing can
that.
apply, yeah, man, the same thing can apply to someone who's watching that is working at a restaurant, delivering furniture, whatever the case is. So whether you've been going crazy with your past or whatever the case is, or whatever you're dealing with, man, it's just like this flip of a switch, snap your fingers, and things can change. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I've always said, man. You just never burn a bridge and explore every opportunity you're given, whether it doesn't seem right or maybe it seems too good to be true. Just find the best in everything. You never really know what could happen, what one conversation with somebody could do,
Yep.
one DM, whatever it is, like give it a try. Yeah, it's never stuff I've ever dreamed of, but I'm here right now just because of opportunities and trying things. And I don't know, gotta get out of your comfort zone a little bit and see where life takes you.
Dude, you're the perfect case study. Small town New York boy goes to Japan to hunt ghosts. Literal proof you can do whatever you want, folks.
You can do whatever you
But
want.
guys, that's all things Birmingham Supercross. We will be back next weekend, of course, and we'll be taking everything from there. Come back and share with your friends for all the best motocross coverage because that's what it is. It really is the best.
Yes,
Yeah, we're
sir.
not
And
we ain't got the biggest show, but
we're having fun with it. Who's winning Seattle? Give me your winners. West Coast 250s, 450s. What we got?
dude, my
Can Deegan overcome this?
my answers to these have been so bad.
Okay.
West Coast 250, I mean West Coast, yeah, 250s, dude. I would say shit, man. For the 450s, I'm going to say Cooper Webb's going to come back, but West Coast 450s, it's going to be a return ride from Deegan.
Fair enough. All right. I'm gonna say
What a
I'm
comeback
gonna
story,
give
though.
somebody story. I know, yeah, Deegan. I'm gonna go Deegan as well, and probably Chase Sexton. I'm gonna play the other side, see if Chase can do two in a row.
Deegan's going to roll his bike right out of the pit for the opening ceremonies. The place is going to go nuts.
He should wear some orange gear, like all orange gear. That'd be so sick.
Yes, he should. Who's his gear
uh,
sponsor? Is that Alpine
Thor.
Star? Thor? Okay.
Yeah,
Thor. If you are smart, orange gear, white pinstripes, or something along the lines. Limited
please.
edition gear for Deegan on this race. If you are a rep at Thor and you are watching this, which I guarantee you you're not, but if you are, do that and then send Chris and I royalties.
Thank you very much. Sounds great. That'd be
Chris, put
sweet.
his face
But
on a
yeah, man,
t-shirt right now and list it for sale.
I'm tempted. I'm very tempted, but I don't want to get sued for everything I have.
We
So
don't want to get, we want to be friends with the Deegans, not enemies.
exactly. But yeah, man.
Yeah, yep.
Good show. Thanks for chatting, and we will get a hold of you maybe later this week or after Seattle.
That's it. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.